of PiñaTalks, and I'd like to warmly welcome special guest Carol Zurita. She's a highly accomplished blockchain and crypto TV and live stream producer based out of Singapore. And also, apart from being an experienced Bitcoin miner, she's also an author, public speaker, and branding expert. And I have to add, too, Carol was actually the one that gave me my start in live streaming. So, this is an awesome podcast session, live stream session, to say the very least. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. I'm starting my day. It's Saturday in Singapore, sunny as always. So very excited to be here as well, seeing you again, Adam, in this new chapter of yours as well, live streaming, which is awesome. So congrats, by the way. Congratulations, you're doing pretty well.
Thank you. And listen, enough about me, all right? What are you working on these days? Now, I know you're probably juggling a million things at the moment. So, give me a little glimpse.
Well, it's very exciting. Actually, I'm going through a very exciting period of time right now. So, assisting three projects in different countries, India, the US, and also Dubai, which are either launching their exchange platform or their token. So what I'm doing is assisting in the whole support on one side, what it is, the whole visibility to the world, branding and communication, and also strongly supporting them in terms of market making and a little bit of liquidity as well, along with my team. So yeah, it's very exciting and growing in that sense. Now that it's an opportunity right now. I mean, crypto is, the whole space itself is growing amazingly in some areas. Mostly Latin America. My home. I'm Latin American, so I'm excited to see what's going on over there. Actually, the U.S. Client that I'm dealing with right now, they are based in Ecuador, my hometown, and
very nice.
Yeah, but they are operating from the U.S. as well. So yeah, it's exciting. There's where I am right now. Busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, I know a few months ago you mentioned a little blip of this, working on some type of NFT live stream podcast broadcast type of thing. What new developments have come about since then?
So yeah, that was a really good opportunity I had. I paused for a little while during this period of time. So we launched. I was producing this TV show with live streaming and included an NFT, be able to actually have live streaming cases of live auctions, so people would just like when you auction for painting, you would do it on an NFT. So we built the whole the platform to be able to do it. We just couldn't launch it, and that is because there were some other projects in between, so we couldn't launch it. So I left the project a little bit there. So hopefully I can pick it up very soon again, mostly because the opportunity is growing. And yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, I'm very passionate about NFT. So yeah,
right.
That's for now.
That's awesome. So I think it seems to a lot of people that NFTs really blew up this year in a good way and really came into their own. And it's a very, very popular and controversial topic to discuss. So as far as producing blockchain content, for TV and live stream, as far as NFTs, what do you think is the most relevant, most important part to cover right now?
So NFT, like you said, I mean, it has a lot of opportunity in terms of, speaking from the perspective of branding, it's a really, really good opportunity to promote, to create that visibility, that attraction in various markets. So in terms of globally, we have to fight harder to make to make our voice loud and clear. And NFT is a really good way to promote, to to turn everyone's eyes to you. So that is something that excites me, actually. And I've been even considering myself personally to launch my own NFT just for the sake of branding, which that's what I believe on. However, on the other side, I mean, is from the perspective of the whole environment protection, friendly environment, so forth. So that's something that we want to consider as well. So it like I said, it's it's both sides of the coin, and I would say there are many other situations or industries where we have to face the same situation. Like we have the good and bad of the both. But yeah, I mean, my statement is like, it's important to think through and the why of doing it, if really doing it, and see the whole potential, because it has an amazing potential at the end to consider an NFT for for like I said, for promo, for branding purposes.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of potential, so talk about your own NFT brand that you have in the works right now. What can you discuss about it?
Well, that's still supposed to be, door closed, because still in the working process. And like I said, I mean, there are tons of things to consider that I'm not ready yet to disclose. I will definitely do it very soon. For now, it's a little too early.
All right, keep me posted on that. And as far as El Salvador, now this is a very consequential year for Bitcoin and blockchain, but especially for Latin America and tech. How do you feel about that? El Salvador officially adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender, as essentially as a form of currency, and perhaps it may end up causing a trend throughout the rest of Latin America. It seems like that's certainly a possibility. So, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think it will ultimately be successful?
So first of all, I do have my personal slash. When I say personal, I mean like my own satisfaction in terms of like seeing that Latin Americans waking up to adopt cryptocurrency. So when I was introduced to cryptocurrency, back to Bitcoin specifically, back in late 2016, I got to learn all of the advantages. I got to be so excited. And coming again from Latin America, many countries in Latin America, they are poor people, have very poor education, literature about finances and personal finances. So when I got introduced, I saw myself in the brink of like, this is the way to actually build my own passive income and my wealth in that sense. So. And I brought my family, my mother, my sister, some of my cousins on board to adopt. I'm telling you, back in 2017. And it was exciting. It was the boom. It was an alternative that, like I said, it was a really good solution for people that we are striving in poor countries, to actually survive in that sense. So now seeing that Latin Americans waking up to see this an opportunity, it's really happiness for me to see that. And in terms of the success, I mean, there are various elements to consider. One is the whole understanding deeply and fully what it is. Dealing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, so it requires a really good time to study, to learn, to get used to this new change, and therefore that's why we still see a little bit of contradictions in terms of like some people are in favor, some people are against it, and that's because it's not that easy to just have this new regulation, then from now on everybody uses Bitcoin when you have no idea what it is. So that is probably the journey that Latin Americans has, mostly El Salvador, who publicly have adopted Bitcoin. So it's a journey in terms of like, getting used to it. No one is happy to be moved out of their comfort zone. So it's the whole getting used to the whole education behind it, the whole understanding the whole potential what it is. So yeah, and like I said, I really support Latin America to see it as an option and be finally independent in that sense. I mean,
Right.
South America, we're always looking up to the U.S. in various, like my country, we adopted the dollar, the American dollar. We lost our currency years ago. So yeah, it's a way of independency as well. So I can't be more happy than that. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting, seeing El Salvador taking a chance. Actually, no, I would say at a calculated risk to adopt Bitcoin as like legal tender, as everyday currency. And then unfortunately, I think if you look at United States, you look at Wall Street, you look at the SEC, and you look at Washington, D.C., it is not a particularly cryptocurrency blockchain friendly environment. And, kind of as a spectator looking at this, it seems like there's not really an understanding. I don't think really Washington, D.C., I don't think Congress really understands it. And I think Wall Street, I think there's a small part that's slowly coming around to it. But if Bitcoin and cryptocurrency gain prominence, that means it will also affect the bottom line of people like the Warren Buffetts of the world, who, let's say, made their wealth through traditional securities and things like that. So, looking at what's going on in El Salvador, I find it, very promising that, I think their president obviously did his own research, did his own due diligence to learn about it, or at least surrounded himself with people who can really communicate and like articulate this very well. And now, actually implementing it. I want to know, as far as Ecuador or any other part of Latin America, which country would you guess would probably adopt it next? If you could guess, maybe Panama. I've heard a little blips in the news about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think countries like Argentina, Chile, Brazil is also, a little controversial, Brazil, because it's a huge country. So, even
Right.
if it is half of them, they like it, half of them, they don't. It's still considerable, like the major population in South America. So yeah, I would say Argentina, Chile, Brazil, they probably would follow the steps of, and hopefully they do, the steps of El Salvador. Ecuador is still, actually, Ecuador is one of the countries that it's a blank no. So it's not really open to.
Right.
Hopefully that's at some point. So yeah, Panama, it's a really good option as well. I think it would be a really good solution. Sadly, Venezuela probably would have been the best solution for them. They somehow, yes, somehow adopted, somehow, it's a lot of back and forth conversations in that sense. But for example,
Right.
Venezuela would really, really much benefited out of, adopting Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. So, yeah.
Right. Well, as they say, the tide raises all boats. So I think if Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency adoption is successful, hopefully that will, also rub off on Venezuela, and hopefully maybe investors and other tech companies may want to consider, going there at some point. Now, you've been in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency since 2017, which I think for a lot of people, that's actually a long time. So what was Bitcoin mining like? Now, I've never done it, but it seems very fascinating to me. So I don't have the hardware, and I've never actually participated in any part of the process. And since you were doing it in 2017, what was that like back then? Did people just kind of look at you like what is Carol doing? Like does she have some sort of like lab, or like she's running some sort of like secret experiment back there with all these monitors and machines and stuff?
Actually, it was an amazing experience. I have to say, it's probably at the peak of my life at some point, because yes, like I said, to just give you a little more context how I ended up doing it, because
Sure.
I didn't even know. So I was recruited at this Chinese company as a marketing director for their cryptocurrency exchange in late 2016. And which, as a marketing director, I need to know what I'm supposed to be promoting and communicating. So got to learn about what blockchain does, the benefits, like I said earlier, benefits of Bitcoin and so forth. And just in there, the company that recruited me, they were thinking of like launching their own coin and their own token. And that would be like, how can you do that? How can you actually, so we're talking about making your own money. That's quite tricky. I don't think it's that anyway. Yes, I like I said, I got to push myself. I was paid for promoting something that I didn't know very well. So I had to within 2 months to get fully on board, understanding how it worked. So we did pretty well. And various seasons in China in 2017, they banned. The second time they banned cryptocurrency. They banned in 2013 as well. 2017, it was very hard. So the company pretty much stopped working. By then, I was already with the whole full steam of like, this is it. This is the passive income. This is the money machine. And so I got to hear about this Chinese company buying mining machines. And I will be like, what is this? It's to make your own money. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that right? So let me get mine. So I got my first mining machine. I set it up at home, which, so first of all, is like the noise of the machine. It's two blocks of machine. So one is the miner itself, and the other one is the whole fan and the whole kind of like a CPU that you have for the computer. So kind of like, so you have to have these two equipments. And so you have the fan and you have the machine running. So it's like a vacuum cleaner turn on at home like 24/7. So obviously you can turn it off whenever you want, but if you want to make money while you sleep, you better have it 24/7 on. So so we started seeing that the machine was giving us like around $50, $60 a day without us doing anything other than just connecting it to the socket and just do what you have to do. So we got the third machine, and I say we because at that time I was already on board with my partner. So we were very excited. He got on board easily because he saw how much money we were making. He's like, that's the thing, do it together. So we had 6 machines at home, which is crazy. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. In China, with a lot of regulations and so forth, my electricity went totally high.
Question, actually, what was your bill like?
Oh man, it was quite high. I mean, it was incrementally. I can't remember the bill exactly, but I do remember that even the neighbors will knock at the door like, when are you gonna turn off? You're cleaning, right? When are you gonna turn off the machine or the vacuum cleaner?
Right.
So I was making $50 per machine, so I had up to 10 in my house. So you make the numbers. Seeing that situation, obviously we wanted to scale 100 times. We got this mining farm out of Mongolia, and we had a room for 300 machine. So I'm talking about increasingly December 2017. The end of 2017, when Bitcoin went up to 19,000, 20,000. So it was a really good deal. However, on the other side, the machines started to get a little hard in terms of the mining. The whole process of mining became harder and harder to mine 1 Bitcoin. So the whole profit, $50, started going down to $30, $20. So we reached to the point that we just didn't make any profit, and instead the whole mining farm out of Mongolia, the rent, the electricity was even higher. So we just had to stop doing it. So I guess it was a really good timing, because by January the Bitcoin, January 2018, Bitcoin went down to $2,000 again. From 19 went down. So it was the massive fall in there. So yeah, that was like in a few months, probably like 6, 8 months. It was a really, really good time to make money. So I was literally, and I have to use the word literally, I was sleeping and making money. So it was
Well, that's
really exciting.
perfect. I mean, that sounds
Yeah.
like life right there. So,
Yeah.
if you remember, do you recall the make and model of the mining equipment you used?
So I was using I probably have it on the top of my tongue. I remember, well, right now I don't have it. I don't have it in my mind. It's 2.0. It was
The
the
Ant
ant.
miner,
Yes,
right? Okay,
yes,
good
yes.
stuff.
Yeah. So that's right. Yeah, it was exciting. I remember.
And by the way, like, now I know this is 2017, but how much did this equipment cost? All this gear, like all together, when it's finally set up and you can finally start, hashing and making some money.
So that's a really good point because it was a little tricky. Every time that the Bitcoin price went a little bit fall a little bit lower, the machines went lower as well. So
Oh, okay.
at the point that when it was increasing to 18,000, 19,000, 20,000 Bitcoin price, I'm talking about, the machines also increased to similar price. It was something like the same, something like $15,000. But when I bought them in when the price was around 3,000, and the machine was, like I said, similar price. And I got my family on board as well. I bought machines for them, and I paid $5,000 for
Okay.
the whole machine. So I bought one machine per each, one for my sister, one for my mother. So
Oh,
they
that's
would
very
also.
nice of you.
Yes, that was so. Yeah, eventually, a lot of people, by 2019, 2018, a lot of people started interested in buying machines, but the price was like increasing and increasing on a daily basis. So that was another reason why we just stopped it, because you needed a strong investment to be able to do
Yeah.
it. Just months back, you could have done it with $3,000.
Wow.
So yeah.
And that was going to bring me to my next question. So, what was the maintenance like on some of this like mining equipment? Did you have to like replace parts pretty often?
So the not really.
Okay.
What the crucial part is, like, the machines get very hot. So you
Right.
need to have them in a and Mongolia was the suitable place, because in summer, in places like the south of China where I was living, in summer is very hot. So then you have to pay extra AC or you know AC.
Right. You got to pay a higher utility bill in the summer just to
Right,
run the AC
right.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to pay extra for that. In winter, you need to warm it up a little bit because it's too cold.
Right.
So yeah, so it's, and also you wanted to have them in an area where the electricity that doesn't cost you too
Yeah.
much. So Mongolia was the perfect time, because even in summer it's not that hot. That is one of the elements that we really needed to think about. And another area was a little bit north, like Russia. However, the whole you're getting into politics, you're getting into
Right.
so that's why we just didn't mess up with that. That's one element. Another one was the whole difficulty for mining. So the blockchain itself, when
Right.
we talk about the whole coding and the whole algorithm, that's the word, the
Yes.
whole algorithm. So the old versions, and the faster people adopt Bitcoin, the faster it needed to move the algorithm to come up with the blockchain to produce
Right. The more that gets mined, the harder it gets to mine the next, essentially,
right.
Bitcoins. Yeah.
So my machines were young enough to keep moving faster, and that's why I needed to replace them almost every 6 months to get
Wow.
the higher version. So, like I said, in terms of investment, you needed to have cash to buy another block of 20 or whatever number of machines you wanted to have. So yeah, the business model was not working out, because when we talk about Bitcoin, there's nothing stable, and luckily for me, I didn't move forward, because when it went down again, I would have been a very, very bad loss. So I'm happy that I stopped there.
Now having real hands-on experience with Bitcoin, more than just buying it, more than just trading it, actually mining it, do you foresee it hitting $100,000 per coin? Now, I know influencers throw that number around, and certain analysts do, and I guess it's kind of been vacillating in the 40s lately. What do you think as far as Bitcoin's potential? Do you think it could get up there and break that ceiling and maybe go beyond 100,000?
So in the past, when I was involved, I didn't really think that it would go up to $100,000 per Bitcoin, and that is because of the projects that are coming on board and so forth throughout the process. So I didn't believe. I was actually betting for the 50,000. I thought like halfway may sound, but 100,000, I don't know. I still have my doubts. And even now, I feel like, it's coming tighter and tighter, more regulations and so forth. And we're talking about every external element make a lot of effects on the price. So I personally think it won't go to $1,000 per Bitcoin somehow. Yeah. So right now, if you ask me where my head is DeFi right now. The whole staking, the whole there is where my mind is right now, or probably there is where my investment.
That was going to be my next question, actually. What coins are you looking at lately?
I actually prefer to keep it a little bit in secret, and that is because I'm also evaluating them. So recently, just today, I was thinking, I woke up with the idea, like, I have a little amount of money right now, so where am I going to put it? So I'm still evaluating. I guess I will disclose it a little bit later, because there are a lot of things to consider in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll rephrase this a little bit. Which newer coins look very fun or interesting to you?
Well, I really like DOT.
Okay.
So they have a strong project behind. Really, really like DOT. I mean, Cardano it's been love-hate relationship.
A little bit of a roller coaster this year.
Yeah. So, however, it feels like it's still a good. I wouldn't use the word good option, but it's still an option. I mean. Yeah, probably those ones. I like a lot in terms of swap. The whole system as well. It's very nice. Very in terms of options for investment in crypto. So that there is where I am as well. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Now, you're based in Singapore. You work in blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now. Anybody who watches the news, Singapore is a genuine economic powerhouse. And back in the 80s, it was one of the 5 tigers of Asia. And what is the crypto and blockchain environment like that? What is the crypto and blockchain environment like in Singapore right now? For me, if I'm catching the news or if I'm doing my own research, I can't wait to go and visit at the very least. So you actually live there. So what's it like?
So, politically, the cryptocurrency itself, it's still not supposed to be, legally traded here. So that's that. However, the interesting thing is, like, the government is pretty much opening Singapore to be the Silicon Valley of Asia, with all of the tech companies. So a lot of tech companies are coming here. Most importantly, the Chinese ones that are leaving China because of their.
I would imagine they went there. Yeah.
Indeed. So on a daily basis, we see a lot of migration of exchange and cryptocurrency companies coming to Singapore. So everyone is talking about it. I mean, you can just sit in a restaurant dining out, and then you will definitely have a bunch of people speaking about it, because that's the environment right now. It's in the air, and it's exciting. It's very much exciting. I mean, hopefully we can start, using Visa card and so forth, PayPal cards, so forth, for daily transactions. Hopefully, or that's how I see it. Hopefully it goes through. So yeah, the whole concept is booming, and people are getting much more confident and familiar with it. Yeah. So I do have to say that the culture in here is very much towards learning things very well. So it's in their culture to learn to be secure. So they are very skeptical. They don't accept anything. They always talk about scams. So it's their duty to do their homework. So yeah, a lot of people are getting more confident on that. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, to say the least. Now, for those tuning in, and perhaps you can shed some light on this. What makes Singapore so business friendly and successful? Because it's an economic miracle. I mean, it's essentially a country, a city-state rather, that's been around for barely 70 years. I'm guessing, and I believe Singapore has the most billionaires in the entire world. So they certainly have a working formula there. Is it like extremely low taxes, government subsidies for certain types of tech and certain platforms and things like that? If you could maybe elaborate on some of these things.
Yeah, so definitely taxes situation is it's lower than any other place. It's probably the lowest, and that is definitely friendly for everyone there. Also, like I said, the culture itself it's always
very tech interested, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's always towards being the pioneers, being the ones coming up with something fast and something good with good quality. So it's in their culture, and then the young people are very much motivated and supported by the government. New startups, so it's pretty much there are various platforms for funding, for launching and support. So yeah, it's very friendly in that sense. The government is very open to do that. And one thing that is very probably something that not people really see it or admire is that the whole inclusion. I mean, sometimes the whole politics stop the processes because of just belief. In here, the fact that everybody's welcome, everybody's included, and there's no such of distinctions. It's just like just show me what you got, and whether it works or not, we're going to support you regardless who you are. So that is very, very, like I said, very positive, and I bet it's also affecting in the speed of evolving and people actually launching their own businesses. So yeah, it's fresh, it's always fast, it's moving. Even during the pandemic, I mean, although the whole shifting of working from home and then dealing everything from home, made a difference. However, people didn't stop. It's just keep going. So yeah, like I said, it's taxes, it's the whole government, the whole inclusion, and the mentality of the people towards being better, being always striving to be better. So yeah, I would consider those the elements mostly.
Right. And so I would imagine that it probably has a pretty big expat community that's doing business there, probably from all over the place, whether it's China, US, UK, Russia, probably a variety, a wide array of places, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's very multicultural.
Yeah, no, and that's awesome. So if hypothetically, let's say I was to visit Singapore. Now, I know there are numerous languages that are spoken. So you have, and like I said, just correct me if I'm wrong and clarify. So you have English, you have Mandarin Chinese, you have Malay, right? And you have Hindi.
Yeah.
Is that?
I mean, technically, the English language is the main one. Okay. So everyone speaks by default English, everyone. So there's nothing to worry about it if you're an English speaker. Yes, like I said, it's multicultural. Therefore, their own communities, they have the communities, they have their own language, and to make the city friendly, all of the labels are in these four main languages. But yeah, in daily communication, everyone is welcome. You can just use English. So yeah, that's you get into the subway and then you get to hear people about speaking their own language, and the directions are in the four languages mostly, or Hindi, Malay, Chinese, or plus English. Those are the but like I said, English is the main one. So there's nothing to worry about. I mean, I'm saying there's nothing to worry about it because when I moved to China in 2011, it was hard. No one spoke English.
Oh, wow.
So you have to do it Chinese by default.
Right. So to be fair to say, if you want to go somewhere to really make money and build a business, Singapore would definitely be on that list.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I will definitely consider Singapore. One thing to keep in mind though is depending where you're starting from. So in terms of investment, in terms of making a move from the US, from Europe, from wherever you come, I mean, in terms of cost, Thailand, Vietnam, they are friendly countries as well with low cost living, and build up from the ground something and hire staff and support. So those are the most preferred places as well. A lot of tech companies are in there, coming from Europe, from the US. They are mostly in Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines. But yeah, like I said, depending where you're coming from. Otherwise, I mean, Singapore is the place to be. Yeah.
Right, and I know certain countries do this. So does Singapore have special work visas, specifically for like tech companies? Like 5 or 10-year visas, something like that? Because I'd imagine they probably have to have some sort of incentive to also attract all this outside business.
So probably I'm not the right person to.
Yeah, I know that was a very technical question. I was just wondering if you knew anything off the top of your head.
Not really. I mean, I don't want to mislead you in that sense, but I'm not the right person to answer that. Definitely, you may want to check. I mean, moving to Singapore, you may want to check on what the options are, and in terms of visa, that is crucial. So that's something to look into. However, I will have to say that who to reach out. There are various type of legal consultancy friendly people who can reach out on LinkedIn from wherever you come, and then they will definitely guide you in a better way.
Awesome. So being in China, you effectively had what were the beginnings of a rather complex business model. You had machines in China. You had separate parts of the operation in Mongolia. So how did this get you into blockchain broadcasting, creating, content for TV and live streams? How did you end up getting there?
So my long-term motto or my long-term philosophy falls into one simple thing: literature for people in finances. People must take control of their personal finances. Absolutely. And be able to succeed. There is opportunity, and everyone has the right to build their own wealth. So there's no way that people have to be poor. I mean, we have to wake up and get to learn that. So that has been always my philosophy, my motto, and my way to also come out from a poor country and be able to build myself in different places. So from that perspective, education has always been my number one motivation to keep going. And whether I was recruited in different companies, I would still keep my side little live videos on Facebook, or my side little gatherings in China to educate people. And by default, I became a public speaker, so very comfortable in speaking to the public. And when I joined this, actually it's a Russian project, a Russian company. When I joined them, from the branding communication plus my previous experience, I came up to like, hey guys, your YouTube videos are awesome, but we can make it into a live education. So why don't we just launch something that speaks directly to crypto enthusiasts? Because out of 5 people, 1 is in crypto. The rest, they want to be, but they are still not doing it because of the fear that how to do it. They just simply don't know how to do it. So from that perspective, that's the opportunity. So I came to them, and then I'm like, let me build up. Let me invite the speakers. Let me put this together, and we create this educational TV show. So we started with a couple of shows with various content related to not only to crypto, but also for startups in terms of VCs and investments and so forth. Eventually, my intention was to be straightforward in like 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, be able to give them the cookie of like, these are the top 10
points. Yeah.
Exactly. Top 10 coins, how to start, how to find them in the chart, little insights, how to read the charts and so forth, the whole candle situation. And
that's very important, reading candlesticks and, understanding those tools and things.
Correct. So that was the intention to, again, always based on how to educate people, how to support people to one thing is pushing them to take action. A different thing is like to provide the whole ecosystem for them to decide whether they take action or not. So that has been my intention, and we ended up building 8 live TV shows with various content related to cryptocurrency, how to invest, the reading the candles, NFT as well a little bit. So it was exciting. So. And not only that, but again, going back to marketing and communication, video sells better than content. So text. So we grew and grew within months. So yeah, it's really exciting, and probably that's something that now it's my passion to make video live streaming. Yeah, it's something that I really like.
That's awesome. So I remember when I was working with you a few months ago, you were doing. I was 3 or 4 shows, right?
Yeah.
Is that about right? So which of the shows that you were doing had the highest viewership? Because I know you had one that was introducing new coins. I know you were working on an NFT one. I know you had kind of like a broader blockchain cryptocurrency type one. So, from doing that, what topics back then were actually getting like the most viewership?
So, I guess the topics with much more attention were the ones that are educational towards where to invest and how to invest. So the whole charts, the whole top 10 coins, and the presentation of the project, why XYZ coin has potential and so forth. So those were the ones. There were actually a couple of shows that had a lot of attention. That's that. However, the attention was depending the geography as well. So a lot of people in Southeast Asia, India, Bangladesh, Vietnam, they would, prefer those related to investment and the whole education about the charts and so forth. Whereas Europe and the US were very much attracted to NFT, I have to say.
Interesting. Yeah. But you know what? I think that does make sense. Actually, I could definitely see why. That's very interesting. So I remember when I was working with you, you would provide essentially a list of coins to cover. So I understand you were doing some of the research as far as I think essentially organizing and deciding which coins to cover. So just generally speaking, for your research, how do you choose a coin? What tells you, okay, we should cover this coin and that coin and this other coin in this episode?
Yeah, so three main things. So the first one is the project behind. And when I say the project, I also include the whole team. How I've seen that established companies, they are launching their coins as a side of their business or part of their business, I would say, as a part of the business. So it's established company, so they can guarantee that that the growth of the coin. So that's really good. I mean, it's not a project that starts from scratch. That has a lot of room to improve. So it's not promising just yet. It's too early. So that's one thing of the project, the team behind, and not the geography as well. So that I have to consider that the geography where it's located, because we saw a lot of, for example, African coins coming out, and it was just related to their own ecosystem. So it was not useful for the rest of the world, which
they're very local coins, right?
Yeah, it could work in their community. But if we are considering going global, it's a little small in that sense. So that's one thing. Another thing is the whole market making and liquidity, the system that you have behind. So you have to understand that there are a lot of the whole the technical part, if it is centralized or decentralized, and how many exchanges you are already listing them to, what geographies and so forth, and all of the activities that you do to attract the attention, giveaways, airdrops, and so forth. So that is another thing that you have to consider. What is the status of, or what is the maturity, I would say, of the coin, if it is already at least listed in 3-4 exchanges already. So that's another thing to consider. The last one, to me, this I had probably the authority to decide. It was also the ones related to which industry. So I launched, I remember, this currency related to plastic waste limitations. So how
I know
people,
which one you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So how people get rewarded for just stop using plastic and so forth. So, for example, I'm always environmental friendly. So I really care about that, and I believe that it's something that and every individual is towards to. So when we talk about that, the whole what the industries that it's pretty much involves us all. So that's another thing that I would consider, or I used to consider, to pick those ones. And also the gaming industry. It's just booming. So everything that it relates to gaming, I would probably already have a couple points extras with me if it is a gaming situation. Yeah, those were pretty much.
And by the way, and that segues into my next question. So obviously NFTs and gaming has been booming lately, to say the least. So where do you see NFT gaming in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think that it will end up even being more popular, let's say, traditional computer games, or even things like the PlayStation 5 and those traditional, I guess you can say, console sets?
So I do believe it's going to be it would cover many more aspects in terms, or elements in terms of, right now the gaming, and most importantly with the because of the pandemic, the gaming boomed because it was adopted as is an option activity to do at home while quarantine and so forth. So the whole new lifestyle that we're having is pushing us to adopt something new. So that's why the gaming also boomed. I'm not saying it's just the one reason, but it's most, that was one of the powerful reasons why people start adopting. So, but my point is, gaming is being developed towards AI, towards other areas, that it's not going to be just seen as the entertainment, but it's going to be somehow much more useful, much more in terms of working out, in terms of including or other parts of the individual living system. So there is a lot of potential in there. So I see it growing. Definitely, it's growing. It's going to be expanding. It's going to have many more functionalities, and the people are going to start, getting adopting it for living. So I'm excited. I really want to see the whole evolve, and mostly here in Singapore, you get to see it how it develops. So it's exciting. I do believe it's going to be massive in 5 years. We're going to be living the future that we used to see just in movies. We will definitely be the future.
Yeah, that reminds me of movies like Fifth Element, like Blade Runner, like those are, I guess, from the 80s and 90s respectively. But that's how I always envision the future looking like. Are there any NFT gaming platforms that you think show like particular promise and potential? Like for instance, a few months ago, I tried Decentraland for the first time. So that is literally it's literally an entire world. It is literally blockchain meets gaming, and I have to say, there is definitely an additional element to that you won't find in traditional video games. So it just seemed endless. The levels of interaction are almost infinite, and there's real, you could say, monetary transactions going on in real time. So you're essentially buying and selling and essentially making agreements and partnerships with allies and other players that Now, I played it maybe for like 30 minutes. I'm like, I got to put this down because otherwise it's going to be like 6 hours going to go by, and I'm going to be angry at myself that I didn't do like all the other things I was going to do. I have to say, it was mind blowing. Even just trying that one out, and I know that's not even one of like the top 5 or 10 right now, but it's incredible. I have to say, and I wanted to know from you, because I know you were doing NFT programs and live streams and broadcasts. What do you think of NFT art galleries and just NFT art? People dropping millions on essentially a digital, maybe a JPEG or something along those lines. What do you think about that?
So art itself has always been, when you go to an art gallery and you pick Da Vinci's painting, it's going to cost you tons of money. It's going to cost you a fortune. It has always been expensive. So it has always been luxurious, seen as luxurious. Now that we have NFT, I mean, to me, it's just a way to make it more accessible and just a way to bring everyone involved. So before it was just for a certain particular group of people who would be interested in art and who would be investing their money to buy a piece of art. Now it's like more accessible. It's like more, decentralized. It's more welcoming to everyone else. So from that perspective, all it does is like just bringing our eyes to something that it was already expensive, and now it's like, whoa, this is expensive. Just this little piece of, picture or something. But yes, I mean, on the other side, the whole support that all of the artists behind that are having right now, I mean, good for them, because, building a piece of art, even if it is just digital art, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot to come up with something attractive. So good for them. They are making their way out, and people are, looking at them as in different ways. So I think it's really positive. It's a winning. And not only that, but from the viewer perspective, we still get access and get to have a little piece of that art. And now it's becoming the showing off of your collection of NFTs. So everyone, all of the leaders are, or every rich person right now, it's jumping into buying a piece of NFT, which is awesome. So, like I said, I'm very passionate about NFTs. I love it. I mean, I like it very much. I can't wait to be more involved into the NFT.
Yeah, and art's a very subjective thing, and I'm open to see where NFTs go. And I have to say, I've seen some pretty amazing stuff out there, actually. And in fact, even NFT art that you can actually specifically interact with an app. For instance, you use an app, and these additional effects and these additional pieces of art come flying at you effectively. I guess my sentiment is maybe one person's graffiti is another person's Picasso. So I mean, for me, I'm open, and I'm willing to. I'm very excited to see what's going to be coming up in NFT art over the next few years, to say the very least. So as far as programming, and I know your NFT collection. I know it's kind of on stealth mode, and I know it's kind of clandestine, kind of like on a need to know basis, like a James Bond movie. And I say that kindly, by the way, because I'm actually very excited to see what you have have in the works. When could we expect to see some more information about your NFT project that you're doing, your own NFT brand, and maybe some of the programming that you're coming out with soon?
So, in terms of my NFT, so just probably in the next 6 weeks or so, I will be able to make it more public. Right now, I'm still in the cooking mode.
Right.
It's going to take a little bit of time. In terms of the next production, so I'm joining forces with this Indian company. They are actually a gaming as well. Part of their project is it's in gaming, and I'm very excited. We're going to launch our crypto TV very soon. So we're working on the details in the recruiting for speakers and the whole content, what we're going to be speaking during the show. So
what's the name of the company, by the way?
I cannot disclose.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, I cannot disclose. There are still some details tweaking there. So their gaming, I can say that. So their gaming is Werewolf. So they are pretty. They have a very
Werewolf,
nice.
Yes, I remember covering them. Yes.
That's an amazing project.
I'll have to download that.
NFT. It's really cool. So we're gonna be joining. So again, Werewolf is just one part of the whole company and business itself. It's these people are amazing. I'm so impressed with their business mind and where their direction is just impressive. I'm so honored and happy to work with them. So we're tweaking the next crypto TV, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome and powerful. We will be launching initially on the whole Asia area for probably the first month or two, and then eventually, be able to expand faster. So that's the, at least that's how I see. I always bring that with me, that I'm Latin American. Also, my family's from the US. So I always say, like, guys, please expand that to the other side of the world, because I really want everyone to be involved on it. So that's my next step. So probably in the next month, I'll be publishing, making more public, my next steps with Werewolf as well.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll say this, keep me posted over the next few weeks. And, when you're in a position to publicly launch and disclose this, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help promote it on my, on my Twitter and Instagram, and on the company's Twitter and Instagram and other social media platforms as well. I think the suspense is about a 10. I am particularly curious about all these secret projects that are in the works. And, I can't help but to reiterate, Carol, you gave me my start, and I think you kind of created the passion in me for live streaming. So again, I can't thank you enough for that. And listen, keep me informed over the next few weeks, and I am very, very excited to see what you have in the works. And as far as your NFT brand, please let me know the minute you launch it. I would like to start collecting NFT art. I think there's definitely going to be some genuine value in it. So I'm going to start building my collection. And who better to do it with than start with a friend? So please let me know.
I will definitely let you know. Yeah, we can work out on this something together. We can work out something together as well. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to let you know.
Yeah, and let's talk further offline about that too. And on a final note, it was an absolute pleasure having you on as a guest on our 14th episode of PiñaTalks. I feel like I've gone full circle now. So, somebody who started me in live streaming, now I'm interviewing you. So it's pretty cool. So thank you again for coming on as a guest.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
All right, and I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome.
All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.